In the story of Jack Morris lies all the joy and glory and all the grief and heartache that horse sports can manifest. It is also a story of fabled talent and fearless bravado, counterbalanced by calamity as harrowing as the light harness sport has ever witnessed. The tale begins in the early 1990s with an ebullient, twinkle in his eye, likeable, cocky, Irish-Australian horse trainer named Sean Harney. Harney acquired the muscular bay gelding in New Zealand for $30,000 on behalf of Gene's West owner Peter Volk, whom he had talked into the purchase. Volk knew little of harness racing and even less of Sean Harney, but Harney was nothing if not a gifted salesman, and he bagged an elephant in Volk. Jack Morris won 25 of his 37 starts and never missed a place, advancing from unknown to unforgettable in the process. It was something to behold in this period as the explosive talent gradually gave way to a controlled professional racehorse with an increasingly big engine. The colourful and sometimes roguish Harney, though, having finally captured the horse of his dreams, would miss about half of the future drives due to his own run-ins with stewards, featuring an all-too-common association with suspension and disqualification. But it was hard not to love him, for he was the most entertaining, outspoken, witty, exciting breath of fresh air in the game, and for the media, the best and most willing interview participant there'd ever been. So it was the great Fred Kersley in the sulky when, having won a dozen races and just arrived in fast class, the now 5-year-old Jack Morris blitzed the field in the Fremantle Members Sprint in November 1992. The win prompted Sean Harney to phone New South Wales Board Chief Peter V'landys to demand a start in the upcoming Miracle Mile. He granted him his wish. Greeted with the banner newspaper headline, Jack Who, when he arrived in Sydney a fortnight later, Jack Morris, with Harney now back driving, nevertheless ran a creditable third to the Victorian star Franco Tiger. Harney then landed a massive plunge in the Trua Memorial as Jack Morris exploded to a 4-lengths victory in an elite field and was suddenly Jack Who no longer. Part of Jack's Brisbane Inter-Dominion preparation was a trial at Byford, but so newsworthy was his win in that trial that the horse firmed into pre-post favouritism for the Inter-Series. He won the trial by 350 metres, literally, in a full 12-horse field, smashing the track record to smithereens in the act. And he didn't disappoint in Queensland either. After 2 wins and a second in the heats, he thrashed the field in the Inter's final, despite working outside the leader, and left the likes of superstar pacers Warrior Khan, Blossom Lady, Christopher Vance, Westburn Grant, and Franco Tiger in his wake. Following a spell, Jack Morris returned as a 6-year-old, eclipsed the Australian Pacing Championship at Moonee Valley, the Moonee Valley Legends Mile, and the Tasmanian Pacing Championship in Hobart by a widening 3 lengths and in track record time. Now Sean Harney publicly declared that Jack Morris would not only win the Miracle Mile coming up next in Sydney, but would do so by the biggest margin in history and in the fastest time. As it turned out, only devastation awaited the charismatic horseman. Jack Morris was sensationally scratched at the barrier when the course vet spotted a trickle of blood coming from the nose of the champion. Harney tried to plead his case to the chairman of stewards in the trackside tower above him as he sat in the sulky. However, in harrowing scenes that are etched in the collective memory of harness racing, he was ordered to leave the circuit. All of this paled, however, against Sean Harney's announcement that he was suffering from cancer. He had been constantly dropping a leg from the sulky in races due to what he thought was sciatic back pain. Eventually, stewards stood him down from driving pending a medical certificate clearance, which was how Sean's true condition was discovered. Sean was not quite 40 when he passed away. As for Jack Morris, he would not be seen again for 2 years due to tendon and suspensory ligament problems, and when he resumed in Melbourne for his new stable, was never the same, and soon retired. There is no escaping the sadness of the Jack Morris story, yet for a brief, shining moment, he and his enchanting friend lit up harness racing like few before. In total, Jack Morris had 70 starts for 31 wins, 25 placings and stake earnings of $827,754.